What's up? What's up? What's up? I remember this time to take myself off mute in case I was talking to myself the last time. Just waiting on Gray to get here. And that. How everybody doing though? I forgot to I forgot to send him the chat out. Thank you, Marshy. Thank you for joining. Did you subscribe? Gray, how do you have no picture? You supposed to have a Boxrec picture up.
Nah, fuck that.
Or the picture with you in the hot dog suit.
Come on. I don't have time to figure out how to do that on here. What's going on?
What's good? You all right?
Yeah. Ready to do this.
Who gave Carson a wrench? I'm about to unwrench him and kick him out.
Get him out of
here. Okay, Gray. For those that don't know, Gray.
Yeah.
Let them, because this is YouTube, not Twitter, so a lot of people may not know you. But let them know who you are and what do you do.
Sure. So call me, Boxrec Grey. I am a longtime editor for Boxrec.com. So what that basically means is when you go on there, you look at results in the United States, for an example. You're like, oh, look at all that data. That's usually from me. I enter that stuff into Boxrec, make sure everything is correct, work with the commissions in the United States. Yeah, kind of like the middleman between Boxrec and the commissions. And I'm on Twitter too. That's kind of it.
All of those, when y'all complain about the ratings, that's Boxrec Grey. He does.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the one that created that stupid equation that everybody hates. It's just me.
Yeah. T-word, I must be moving on up. Rebel elbows with Carson left. Yeah, Carson ain't please don't blow his head up. His head is.
Am I out of breath?
His head is big enough already.
Goof talking about. Get out of here.
What it means is that Gray doesn't think Inoue is pound for pound material.
Get the fuck out of here.
Let me see. Gray, what betting site do you use?
DraftKings mostly.
DraftKings.
I use a little MGM occasionally. I used to use Bovada before sports betting was legalized in Jersey. Or I moved to I moved to a state with legalized sports betting, but I don't fuck with that stuff anymore. It's no offshore stuff.
Yeah, me either. I used to do what was that, Bet AG?
Yep.
Yeah, I used to do that until
I love to convert my money into Bitcoin and then fucking use that to bet. It's great.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Okay. I'm trying to pull up the betting site because I use FanDuel and I use the local site here is actually a Barstool site. It's not not Barstool sites, but the Barstool. I also use the Barstool sites, but the Barstool Casino, where you can put your bets in ahead of time and take it up there to the casino. Luckily, I don't have to do that anymore.
I was gonna say that sounds awful.
Yeah, now I could just do it from the comfort of my home and lose all my money without leaving.
That's what I do.
Without leaving my house. But all right, man, we got 22 people here. So you a star. You a superstar, right?
I don't know about that, but I got to retweet. I don't even think I have to retweet what you put out there. Here we go. All right, it's on my timeline now.
Gray is also the one that picks the pictures for Boxrec. So that's him.
That's like probably 25% true, I would say. I do about probably 25% of the pictures are mine. So if you look at the ridiculous Alfredo Angulo picture, I don't know if they changed it, but he looked ridiculous for a while. That was me.
You did the Bomac with the mask on picture too.
I did the Bomac with they still have the Angulo photo up there. He's got that wild ass haircut. Yeah.
All right. What we were doing? We were doing 2 undercard fights, the main event, and 1 fight for next week. Sounds the undercard fights we were doing was who was it?
You want to talk about the heavyweights first, or you want to talk about?
We could do the heavyweights. Is Pero and I can't say this other guy's name, right?
We'll call him Victor Faust. It's easier.
Victor Faust,
yeah.
So let me share this screen. I'm gonna show y'all what they got on DraftKings.
All right.
Let me share this screen. Share screen. Okay. All right, there you go. Can y'all see it?
Yeah. Oh, wow. So they got it completely
the props
even.
and everything.
They got props too.
Oh yeah, completely even. Yep.
Yeah, completely even. So DraftKings a little bit different. Little on DraftKings right now. The only difference is Faust is -115, Pero -110. So, yeah, this is an interesting one. I feel like for heavyweights, when I bet, I'm always like under that fear that it's gonna be a sloppy, boring fight, and these dudes are gonna like just hold, and we're not gonna get the knockout, whatever. But based on what I've seen from these two guys last time on TV, I'm putting my mortgage on these picks. Thanks, Carson. These guys are willing to trade. They're willing to take some risks in there, and they've definitely had situations where they've been hit quite a bit. So you might remember Victor Faust fought on New Year's Day card 2 years ago in a crazy fight with guy from Georgia, another European country, not the state. And he got knocked down twice in that fight before coming back to win. And then Pero had a crazy 8-round fight with Giovanni Bruzon, also from Cuba. And those dudes were throwing leather for 8 rounds. Like it was a pretty impressive output for heavyweight. So wanted to see how both guys kind of looked on the scale to make sure no one was coming in a little heavier than I would like. And I like what I see from both guys, honestly. But Faust, since that fight where he almost got knocked out, he's fought Kevin Johnson, who's like a 40-year-old heavyweight whose goal in life is to just survive. And then he fought a guy named Franklin Lawrence, who is, I think, 46 years old and was off of a long layoff. So he really hasn't had any type of challenge since that fight. And Pero has just been kind of knocking out, club level guys as well. But I just think Pero probably has the better chin between the two. I think comes from that, the Cuban, this guy fought everybody in the amateurs. Like he was a legit top level amateur. Like this wasn't like, the number 2 guy. Like this was the number 1 guy in the division before he defected. So he's a good boxer, good puncher. I just tend to go under. Just based on what I've seen from these two, I like the under 6.5 personally. I don't know if I would play if I'm going to pick a winner. I'd probably pick Pero like on the money line, but I don't think it's neither. That's not really appealing for me. I probably would look at the under on this fight, maybe stuff it in a parlay or something like that. But I think these two are going to be trading, and someone's hitting the deck. And if you ask me just at gunpoint who I'd pick as the winner, I think Pero will probably come out as the winner.
Okay, so I'm seeing on FanDuel they don't have the
you gotta click it to click the arrow. I think it should.
No, they just have 3-way. They have the round betting.
So I wouldn't do round betting here. You could do, let's see, what else do they have here? They have, Pero KO TKO plus 150. Like I don't think that's a bad play. Personally.
Okay, I'll put this other one up. They had the over under round at 6.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think like typically I wouldn't play something like that for heavyweights just because there's been so many times where it's just these guys just hold and it sucks. But I think these two are going to be trading. Yeah. So 4-1 versus Frank Sanchez in the AMs. Yeah. Like this guy can go. He's good. He's no joke. And he's in good shape too. A lot of these Cuban heavyweights, like, I'm not trying to generalize, but a lot of them, like after they go pro, like they just don't stay in good shape. Like, and this guy clearly is still around the same weight he was for the Bruzon fight. So that to me is a good sign. And he's the one that hasn't been hitting the deck in these fights. So I feel confident going with him by stoppage.
Okay. Or you said by stoppage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think under 6.5 is a good play, and I also think plus the Pero stoppage is plus 150. It looked like so. Okay. I don't know. I don't think those are bad plays.
Let me see. Pero method of victory. Pero Leonard Pero by KO. Okay. Yeah, plus 150 on FanDuel, and on this other site, method of victory Pero by KO is plus 165.
Okay.
All right, so the second fight, Mario Barrios makes his return after 2 losses in a row to Keith one time and Gervonta the Tank Davis. Gervonta Santiago is the one that ran Adrian Broner to the wire, correct?
Yeah, he did. He ran a very, very disinterested that night. I think Adrian Broner to a fairly close decision.
Yeah, a lot of people thought he actually won that fight.
Yeah, there's a few that thought he won. It was close. I mean, I think Broner probably rewatching, and I think Broner probably edged it, but yeah. And then he fought Gary Russell Jr. and got completely smoked. Or sorry, Gary Antoine Russell got smoked in that fight.
Yeah, Gary Antoine. Now the numbers on this is
interesting. Yeah,
it ain't no money really to be made by just taking Barrios straight up because he's
no, you would not do not take him on the money line. It's not worth it. It's not worth it taking a money line. It's not worth stuffing him in a parlay. Too many things could go wrong in that instance. But I think there's a little bit of value here with I personally, again, I'm more of like, I'm always looking for overs, but I don't know, I guess this week's kind of weird, but like, I think under 8.5 here is a good play. I just think Santiago is, when I look at guys, like when I'm trying to see if there's, worth like, oh, this guy got to survive, this guy got to do okay. I always try to look for the positives in fighters, and like, I look at his wins, and dude, it's like DeMarcus Corley in 2017 was probably like 45 years old at that point. He knocked out this guy Gustavo Vittori, who's since that fight has been knocked out by a lot of dudes in the U.S. He beat a 16-0 guy from Peru, like a country that's not exactly churning out boxing superstars. So that was before he fought Broner, and since then, like, he had the close fight with Broner, but we can both agree, I think Broner probably wasn't in his best that night in terms of just being interested and all that. And then Gary Russell, who I think, obviously hits harder than Barrios, did beat him up. But I think Barrios is, this is a hometown fight for him. He's got a lot to prove here. I think his power is, people kind of forget, like, this guy knocks people out. Like, he racks up knockdowns and he knocks people out when he's at his best. And I just think that, like, Santiago is at that, like, same level as like a Cowboy Carl, or I think, remember he knocked out Velasco in 2019. Like, I group Santiago in with that same level of fighter. I mean, 8.5, man, that's a lot of time for Barrios to just break this guy down and get the stoppage here. I think it will probably, start a little bit slow. I think, Barrios will probably need to wear him down over time, but I'm hoping, like, by like 6, 7 and then early into the 8th here, like, Santiago's just doesn't want to be there anymore, and he gets broken down. So I'm going to take Barrios 8.5 under, and he'll probably get the stoppage.
Okay, 8.5 under. Okay, and he'll probably get the stoppage. All right, I'm building the bets as you say them.
It's a lot of pressure when you're like doing it. Like, the parlay isn't going through. Like, I'm like, oh man, it's a real life consequences here.
Because on one site, on the FanDuel site, it doesn't, for some reason, they don't have the over-unders on here. They just have what fight.
What they're doing. Yeah. They need to get on. They need to get their shit together. A lot of those like books in like the UK are so much better than the US in terms of like the props and just stuff coming out earlier in the week. Yep. And then by the time like those lines come to the US and like DraftKings, there are like, anything that was like pretty good like on a Monday is like not as valuable like today, which sucks. Yep. So very annoying. And we'll talk about that as we come into the main event.
Yeah, and the main event. Hold up. So with the Barrios, we're pretty sure that's not going to distance.
I don't think so, man. I think Barrios is going to break him down. I really do.
Okay, let me see. And let's go with the main event of the evening. Ray Vargas versus O'Shaquie Foster.
Yes.
This one has tightened up a lot.
Not surprised.
A lot, because let me go to my thing.
It's tightened up a lot since the early in the week. I think you could get Foster plus 200, which was great value.
Yeah, I think I got him at plus 300, if I'm not mistaken.
Plus 300, fantastic.
I got him like weeks ago.
That's excellent. And now it's like, what is he, plus 120?
He's plus 120 on FanDuel. On this other one, he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
He is plus 105 on the casino. The casino
okay.
Site. He's plus 105.
So you asked me about who okay, first, just like as a pick, like in general, like not thinking about betting, I think Foster's going to beat him. And I actually said I think Foster might stop him, honestly. So, but it comes to betting, it's a little bit of a different mindset here. So like, yeah, money line here is like rough. Like, it's pretty close at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if Foster's even the favorite going in tomorrow. I mean, this line's really moved. Holy crap. He's plus 120 on DraftKings, so it's moving big time. So I would say this. If you're a Vargas bettor, just some advice, like you might as well, if you think Vargas is going to win this fight for whatever, don't bet. I would rather bet minus 145 on the money line than bet decision, only because like because there's not a lot of difference there. Plus decision locks you into, just a certain result. And like, I'm not saying Vargas is going to knock him down or knock him out. I don't think that at all. But, this could just be some stupid BS where it's like a cut happens or something. You know what I mean? There's just too many things can go wrong. And it's like, I'd rather just go for the outright win. And it's like I said, the difference is it's not really that much of a difference. So if you're betting Vargas, just take money line. If you're betting, like I said, if you're betting Foster, I mean, I like the plus 500 KO, man. I don't know. I just really like that play. I think you look at these two guys, and I look at Ray Vargas' last few fights. Like, he's been the one hitting the deck and not the other way around. Like, Vargas has been getting knocked down. And I looked this up. Last time Ray Vargas, by the way, had a knockdown, not even a knockout, like a knockdown, was in 2016. Like, he's had no knockdowns since 2016. I was over a very washed,
and that was at what, 122?
That was at 122 against a very washed Alexander Munoz, like very old Alexander Munoz. And since then, it's like he's just he's decisions and he's not knocking guys down. So I don't think he's got anything here at 126 that's going to knock down, stop Oshaki Foster in his tracks. The only way he's going to win this fight is if he just outboxes him the whole way and he does his tried and true unanimous decision win. Like, if that's, that's you want to play, like, that's fine. Like, if you go on DraftKings, by the way, they have tons of like little prop bets for this fight. I don't know why. It's more than I usually see in other bouts, but like a couple, like, I'm picking Foster, but if you're playing Vargas, like, go look at things like to Ray Vargas plus 900 to be knocked down and win the fight. Guys, that's a scenario that has happened to Vargas in like 2 of his last 4 fights. He got knocked down by Manzanilla. He got knocked down by Magsayo. And what did he end up doing? He won the fight. So if you're like, that's like just that's not a bad bet for a scenario that's happened.
Not for plus 900. Not for
like
plus 900 at all.
Yeah, that's like, again, that's a scenario that has happened fairly recently. So again, like, if you're playing Vargas, like, play, might as well, if you have $10 sitting in your account, you don't know what to do with it, I would throw something on that than throw it on like a Ray Vargas money line or Ray Vargas decision. But if you're playing Foster, money line's not too bad. I'd play it until it goes to the minus money. I consider, if you're playing Foster, maybe under 10.5, maybe playing by stoppage. You still have really great value there. I mean, it might be time to fade Ray Vargas and that undefeated record lefty. It might be time. Like, the guy's been knocked down in these fights. And I think Foster, you can look at the 2 losses, but that was early in his career. He got locked up right after that. He's a whole different fighter now. He's gotten a lot better. So, I'm willing to go with the guy that knocked down his opponent in the championship rounds in his last fight, and not the guy who got knocked down himself.
So I mean, for betting purposes,
sure.
What are we going with here?
I don't even, you're going for a wild parlay, by the way. I love it. I mean, I would say play, if I was to play like a straight bet, probably Foster money, money line, maybe Foster KO. I don't know if I'd stick Foster KO in a prop bet, but yeah, one of those two, Foster money line, Foster KO.
Okay. So you're looking at, man, these odds are wildly different on these 2 sites. So yeah, wildly different. One is, with the Perro by KO, Barrios by under 8.5, and Foster by KO, you're looking at plus 2913 on one site. And the other site on FanDuel, you're looking at plus 4372. Well, you know what? Because FanDuel didn't have the over under, so that's the difference with the Barrios.
Yeah.
So
this parlay is wild. I love it. Oh man, that make me happy if you hit on that. So, did you want to talk about the UK stuff too, real quick? I mean, not as exciting, but a couple of picks on there that I wanted to just kind of mention, people to think about. Yeah, cool.
Who was the card? I don't see him on my.
Okay, so your main event there, it's this guy. You heard about Adam Azim at all?
Okay, I see it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I do see it. Adam Azim versus Rael Santos.
Yeah.
Santos Reyes.
Santos Reyes. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, like Adam Azim is this. He's a big talked about prospect right now in the UK area, and like if you look at his Boxrec, he's been smoking guys like. Fucking, I think he's 3 of his last 4 fights, first round stoppages, KO2 in his or TKO2 in his last bout. So he's been just mowing dudes down. So the over under on this is 3.5. So yeah, just ignore money line. It's super fucking wide. Who cares? I'm gonna be playing over 3.5 here, and
You're playing over 3.5.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay.
So this Santos Reyes guy. I looked at his record, and I feel like I'm a little more confident in him than I am in his last few opponents, because this is a guy that is a 10-round fighter. He's actually beaten some pretty. I mean, he's beaten the best guys possible in Nicaragua. So I mean, but those. I mean, I've seen enough guys from Nicaragua come over to the UK that put on honestly good, tough performances. Do I think Azim stops him? I do, but I think this is going to be the guy that's going to push him just over that 3.5 line. Like I know he's managed by this guy Tony Tolsh, who's out of Australia, and this is the guy that manages the Maloney brothers. He manages a lot of talent, and I think I think he probably found this guy, in the gym, and someone scouted him and said, this guy could go a little bit. So to me, he's not just some random guy from Nicaragua with a blown up record, coming over here. I think this guy can clearly box a little bit and survive. That's the key here. Can he survive the onslaught? So I'm gonna go ahead and say he can, and it'll go over 3.5, but no guarantees after that. I'm sure Azim's I'm very impressed with him, so I'm not trying to downplay any of his accomplishments, but I do think at some point, like, you can't be blowing all these guys out in the first round. It's gonna stop at some point. We learned that from a certain super middleweight that got released from Top Rank. So some of these guys are just gonna extend you rounds at some point. And so I'm just betting on Santos Reyes being the guy that can at least get him to round 4.
Okay, so we're going with fights for this weekend. These are the fights for this weekend. This is a pretty good parlay. It's not as bad. I mean, the odds are high, but it's a pretty good parlay. Perro by KO. Barrios Santiago's under 8.5.
Yep.
Foster by KO.
Yep.
And over 3.5 with Azim and Ramos. $10 would net you $637. It would.
That's pretty crazy. So I got one more pick from that UK card. I wouldn't recommend you stuff this in a parlay, because you're already this parlay I think is pretty good, and you probably don't need to add much more to it. But a play that I would if you're listening to consider and think about, Zach Chelly plus 200 against Anthony Sims Jr. Anthony Sims Jr. is minus 260, and he's coming to the UK. This is not his backyard. And I'll be honest with you, Lefty. Like, I've watched Anthony Sims now for a few years fighting. To me, I'm not really sold on him, and I don't think he's a guy that genuinely thrives in a big situation like this. And this isn't a world title fight, but it's the co-main, and it's there's WBA belt that that's gonna get a big the winner's gonna get a top 10 ranking out of this. So there's something on the line here. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say like, oh, I'm blown away by Zach Chelly either. I'm not. But I mean, Sims, like, I don't know what he's like the Angulo fight where he just didn't show up like when it mattered, and that was a fight he needed to win. He should have won, right? And in his last fight, he dropped down to I saw his last fight against Antonio Todd in New York, and he like dropped down to 160 for that fight. For I don't know why he did that, and now he's back up at 168. So he's like, I don't know why that's like a weird red flag to me for some reason. And he didn't really look that amazing against Todd, who's like, frankly, a club fighter level guy. And he didn't really try and, he just went out of there and did the basics and did what he could. And if you're a US fighter coming to the UK and you're just trying to get by in rounds and they're close, I don't think the odds are great for you on the scorecards necessarily. Like, to me, that's not minus 260. Confident. I don't have that confidence in him. I just don't.
I get it. But we have a guest that joined us.
Oh boy.
I think he probably joined to harass you.
I see him. Is MVO on here? Is he going to talk about that? Is he going to talk about basketball?
MVO. If he talks about basketball, he's getting booted.
I just say, does he know anything about any of these guys on any of these cards?
No, he doesn't. He probably knows O'Shaquie Foster.
Oh,
That was it.
first of all, I am a UK boxing connoisseur. Everyone knows that. Okay. Second of all, I am here to talk about basketball. I'm here to talk about college basketball.
Oh, fuck
okay.
Off.
Because I hit a couple parlays on college basketball that I think you would be interested in, Lefty.
Oh,
okay.
Now,
I would have been interested in him if you'd have told me before you hit him, not afterwards.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough.
So do you have any boxing bets? Picks?
I do have some boxing picks.
Okay.
Let's
or do you want your own show?
No. I like sharing the mic with Gray.
Okay.
Gray's the man. I like Gray, you know?
I like Matt.
Gray is the sexiest man in a hot dog suit that I've ever seen. You know?
You were like, I remember you said you wanted to eat a hot dog after that. I don't know what
I don't know if that was related. Yeah.
Could have been. Could have been.
All right, so we have Lenny Apero versus Victor. I call him Christ. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but well, on FanDuel it's spelled VYKHRYST. We saw him in that hell of a matchup on the undercard. What was that? The Wilder undercard, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was. Yeah, it was on the free portion.
Yeah, he's a very slight favorite at minus 116. Will the fight go the distance? No is minus 280 if you're not comfortable picking a winner. I am comfortable picking a winner. I think Victor Faust is going to win by KO, which is at plus 180. So I would advise you guys to take Victor Faust by KO plus 180.
Okay, so we have dueling
head-to-head on the first
picks.
Yes. Picks. Now, Mario Barrios, Giovanni Santiago. A lot of people remember Santiago because they think he beat Broner, even though Broner got the decision. We all know Mario Barrios, former WBA world champion. I don't believe in this Reggie nonsense that you guys spit on Boxing Twitter. He was the world champion. And they're going to clash in what I think is a comeback fight for Barrios. This is a get-right fight for Barrios. I think what they're doing is they are setting up Mario Barrios for one more, I guess, pay-per-view fight against someone who they deem worthy of being on pay-per-view in the next 6 to 12 months. So they're trying to set him up as a nice B-side for another pay-per-view. So I'm expecting Mario Barrios to win this fight. I'm not comfortable betting the KO because you just never know with Barrios because he does gas out late. So, but I am comfortable taking him at minus 460, which is the three-way money line. Okay, so we got Mario Barrios minus 460. Now, Ray Vargas or O'Shaquie Foster, you are going to see a boxing lesson tomorrow. I think Ray Vargas, I don't want to say puts on a show because he never puts on a show. He's pretty boring.
He doesn't.
But I do believe that he is going to win and win convincingly. So I would take Ray Vargas minus 150 on the money line.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, these cards are going to be almost polar opposite.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And what's your next one? What's the final one, man?
Well, my final one doesn't take place this week, but I'm very interested in looking at this Lee Wood Mauricio Lara fight.
Yeah, let's preview that one.
Yeah, so this one's interesting. And so right now, if you go on DK, I mean, like you can pull it up lefty. DraftKings wise, Lara is minus 310, and Lee Wood, the champion in his backyard, is plus 230. So yeah, a little bit different on here, but it's very, very rare that you see a fighter coming overseas that wide in the favorite category. Another thing that's eye-opening to me, I don't think it's on here, but at least on DraftKings it is, over under for, again, this is a world title fight, 5.5 rounds. So personally, for me, I think that there's no, and I think Villara will win this fight. Now, if you ask me who the top 3 most, like, I don't know, vulnerable world champions are, I think Lee Wood probably goes on that list somewhere. But Lara is so wide here that it's like, I don't know if a money line, just betting a straight bet, is really worth it for me. I don't even know if I put him in a parlay. I'm more wondering if it's worth going over 5.5, because I think Lara is definitely been bulldozing guys, but it's been fighters that are kind of a little bit less, as good, I'd say, as Lee Wood. In his last fight, he won in TKO 3 in Mexico over a guy that I think is a fighter I would not put on Lee Wood's level, at least. So I think that there's a chance this can cruise over 5.5. But some food for thought here. And again, I'm not picking him, but Lee Wood, to his credit, has scored some knockdowns and is obviously had the spectacular stoppage of Conlon, but he knocked down Kanzu. He knocked down Reese Mold. He knocked down David Oliver Joyce. So that's his last few fights. He scored the knockdowns. Lara has been KO'd in the first round before. So just something like little caution there. Like, this guy has been knocked out, but he's shown he's been bulldozing guys. Don't get me wrong. So you kind of got to go with the hot hand here at least. But I'm willing to say this is like, these guys make it a little bit of a firefight for a few rounds. Goes over 5.5. Lara gets the stoppage most likely, but just keep in mind Lara's chin might have him on the deck at some point.
Yep. What about you, Matt? Envio?
Matt, you got a white woman at CVS yelling at you? What's going on?
No, this time it was a white man, actually, believe it or not.
I knew it was a white person.
But since this is Lefty's show, I decided to mute myself because this is not a Twitter space. I wanted to show him a little bit of respect.
Yes, we fancy over here on YouTube. We don't get ignorant.
Yes. But in the words of Larry David, I do not respect Wood. Okay, so I am taking Mauricio Lara to beat the hell out of Lee Wood. Lee Wood was getting his ass kicked by Michael Conlon for the entire fight before he, I don't want to call it get lucky because Michael Conlon sucks, but before he got to Michael Conlon, I don't think such a thing is going to happen to Mauricio Lara. So I think Lara is going to just beat him and probably get him up out of there, probably stop him in the middle rounds. And he's going to continue his ascent to the top of his little babyweight division.
Baby, 126 is babyweight? I don't know about that.
Division.
I don't know about that.
Listen, any division where you would date a girl that weighs that amount is a babyweight.
Jesus. By the way, so
Laura, has Wood ever been knocked out?
Oh, Wood?
Yeah, Wood's been stopped.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't like knocked out, but he was, he got TK'd. Like a long time ago. But by the way, Lara's stoppage is like minus 200. That's kind of wide for me in terms, I don't know. I don't see a lot of value in that. Especially, again, things can go wrong. What if it goes to points? That's such a wide line for me that I wouldn't keep it straight up. Maybe hope that some Brits move the line the other way. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, Laura's stoppage this is crazy.
I wouldn't take that straight up. It's not worth it.
And even the will the fight go to distance? No, is like minus 600, which is crazy.
Right. Like, no, I'm not doing. No, don't. Those are that's a trap. Don't do that. Not worth it. You don't get enough out of that. Things can go wrong, so it's not worth it.
I've already taken Wood. I bet emotionally. I don't really bet to win a lot.
Hey, pause, bro. Pause.
I'm taking Wood for the victory.
You're wild. I love it. Whatever. Hey, you know what though? Like it's not out of the question, man. Like I say, he's not the guy. He clearly has enough power to put guys on the canvas. You know, Mara's been put on the canvas, so it's not like a stupid bet. Not like you're burning money. Like
I had him in a parlay weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Actually, I was just if Oshaki's able to pull this off, I'm gonna see what they offer me for the cash out. That's really what I'm playing for, is for the cash out.
I mean, honestly, Lefty, like I live bet a lot of stuff too. Like just so the listeners understand. Like I would say I live bet more than half the time. So I just kind of watch a fight and kind of play it by ear.
Did you bet on last week's Alicia Baumgartner fight?
I sure did, Matt. I can send you the parlay I won too, so you know I'm not lying to you.
Oh, so you did win?
Yes, I did.
Did you know she had a period?
I did not know that till after. No, they don't. That's not a scoop that I
Had I known she had a period, I would not have taken her to get the knockout.
I know that was, dude. How funny was it when she scored 2 knockdowns and then all of a sudden the line? I don't know if you looked at the live betting line, but people were going crazy, and I'm like, I'm still taking. You know, I'm going points. Like,
I had her points too.
You know, like I'm
like J-Ro. Always bet the decision. Always bet the
over
in women's boxing,
which is kind of sexist, but you know,
it's true though.
It is true.
I will say, only exception to that, by the way, guys, if you see the Caroline Dubois fight has a line, don't bet, just don't bet on it. It's not worth it.
She's a beast. I wouldn't bet
she is her likely. I wouldn't take over on that fight. She's most likely going to get the stoppage early. It's 2.5 is kind of lined perfectly that it's going to happen right around that time. It's just not worth it.
Is she better than her brother?
I think, well, in terms of like, she'll go further than her brother will. Yeah. Like in terms of accomplishments, yes.
She can beat any woman out there right now.
I agree.
She's also Chicken Talk's prospect of the year last year. I'm not sure. I didn't know that she had that many fans.
I mean, people know, like, you know, with the lower weights, she's probably the hardest puncher right now in the game. Like, no question. Just a question of who's gonna want to, you know, when's she gonna get a shot at somebody.
She's a harder puncher than Savannah Marshall.
No, that's okay. Super middleweight is like the heavyweight of the women's division. Exactly. So I'm not comparing her to like the fucking super middleweights. I'm talking like, you know, below middleweight.
Okay. All right. So one more time so we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
With your picks, so we could go on record for people that just listening at the end and don't want to listen to the whole commentary. So your picks for the weekend, Greg.
Yeah, the too long don't want to listen. All right, so let's see if I can remember. You have to show it on the screen, so because I've been hitting the packs too, so my brain's a little fried. But I believe, we got Lenny Pero. I think is gonna get the KO in this fight. Matt thinks it's gonna be Victor Faust. But I think we both agree that this is probably gonna be a shootout. Consider that 6.5 under. Either way.
Yeah, consider the 6.5 under and consider it not to go the distance, which is -280.
And honestly, you get more. You know, consider that too. You get more value out of that. You might want to put that in a parlay if you want to be a little safer. Mario Barrios, Giovanni Santiago. I'm picking the under here. I think Barrios is going to break him down over time. Matt, I believe you said, is also picking Barrios, but not as confident about Barrios getting the stoppage here.
Correct.
Yes, and then we're not aligned on Oshaki Foster versus Ray Vargas. Matt picking Vargas on money line, which I said earlier, if you're going to do that, that's the right way to go. Don't take decision because you don't get much of a difference on the two. So if you're going to pick Vargas, you might as well just take money line, get more, you know, I'm not saying he's going to get a stoppage, but you just never know in boxing.
Take a safety net, basically.
It's basically, exactly. It's the safety net pick. But if you're going to go Foster, I just am going bold. I'm going stoppage. You can also just take a money line, you know, points. There's a good value there too. I'm just being bold in this situation. But
what about the value for the over under?
That's a good question. I think honestly, like I don't know, man. Like I think there's more value probably in just playing the over but and then again, I'm the one advocating for stoppage, but like.
Over under is
it's -530. Never mind. No, never mind. I didn't realize how bad that line. No. Don't play over. Don't even do it. Don't do it. No.
But the under is plus 330.
Yeah. So I guess if you're going my way, like then do it. But I mean, I didn't realize it was that wide. Yeah, don't play over then. Jesus, that's horrible. And then lastly, I just mentioned Adam Azim. Probably I think we'll get extended past round 2 for the first time against Santos Reyes. No guarantees it goes past 3.5. I just think Santos Reyes is good enough to survive for a bit. Like I said, he's managed by the same guy that manages the Maloney brothers, the host of other fighters from Australia. So I think if he's, taking this time to work with this guy, he's, probably a little more decent than we realize in terms of surviving in there. But I would imagine Azim breaks him down eventually.
Yeah. Okay. And Matt, your picks were?
Gray already told you.
No, but we wrapping it up in case people don't want to.
Oh yeah, Victor Faust, KO. Okay. Mario Barrios, money line. Ray Vargas, money line. And you're all welcome.
I appreciate it. Everybody, you can follow Matt on Twitter at I can't even pronounce.
Is that your face?
Is that your face?
Face? That's all I always say in my head.
Just look for the world famous MVO.
I just type in NVO in the search Twitter and it always pops up. So that's how I get
you. can follow Boxrec Grey at Boxrec Grey and yell at him for his rankings on Boxrec.
That's what I love.
Also, one thing.
Please do.
Why is Boxrec once again giving out viruses?
I don't own the site, buddy. I don't know.
Boxrec is completely back because I clicked on the Boxrec profile and all of a sudden it told me I was the lucky winner of a new iPhone.
I'm sure you are. Congratulations. We're the lucky winner because we got paid 30 cents because you had to click on the back button.
All right. I appreciate y'all stopping by, and I appreciate everybody
tuning
in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Listen back to the show if you like it. Leave some comments, and if y'all start winning some money, leave it in the comments so other people know, so everybody can listen.
I want to know if I actually hit, or you can torch me if I fuck this all up. But anyway, support Lefty, support Chicken Talk. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, y'all take it easy.